Here's your game plan to go from renting apartments to owning a $500,000 home. Renting is baby step number one. This means if you're renting an apartment, if you're renting a home, anything like that. So what do I mean by that? Renting is going to be the most cost efficient form of living that there is. Most of the time you can find somewhere to rent that's going to be cheaper than paying on a house. You also don't have to worry about anything breaking, such as AC or their plumbing. You won't have to spend any money on anything like that. And the reason this is baby step number one is because if you're looking to buy a home or get into real estate, then this is the point where you should really be saving up your money, taking advantage of the fact that you don't have to pay money on those extra costs. Because if you can't manage your money to save up for a home while you're renting, honestly, you're probably better off just renting, which is fine. That's not a bad thing. Some people don't want to buy a home or don't want to really get into real estate that bad. But if you are renting and you're looking forward to purchase a home, you're not saving your money, then you're pretty much just throwing that money away that you should be saving to buying a home. If you're saving money and you're renting a place and you're looking to buy a home eventually, you're at a good point in your journey to eventually buy that home. Renting is just a bit more stable than when you buy a home when it comes to managing your money. So it's going to make it a bit easier for you to save up. So now that you've been saving up some money, you got a couple grand in the bank, the next step is to buy a home. Buying a home is going to be much more of an asset than renting. You're going to be able to start building equity just by making payments on the loan to the bank. But as I mentioned before, a home's going to come with a lot more financial responsibility. You're going to need to account for any possible repairs, additions, and the overall maintenance cost that comes with taking care of a home. You will need to be able to manage your money in a way so that way you can take care of anything that comes up. Now, Jacob, you told me I'm going to go from renting an apartment to buying a home. So how am I going to get into that luxury house that you're talking about? So you've been renting for some years, you saved up some money, going straight from renting into a $500,000 home. It's not going to be possible unless you win the lottery or you get a crazy promotion at work. So how are we going to do it? Half of the people living in those kinds of homes didn't have that kind of money to get in there the same way you might not. Have you ever had a used car and you went to the dealership, you traded it in and got a lot nicer car because you were able to use the value of that car? This is the same thing. You're just looking to start off with a lower value home that you can afford or even cheaper than what you can afford, save up some extra money, build some equity at the same time, and then you'll be able to trade that into a higher value home. Now, the sweet spot is going to be between 3 to 5 years that you want to be making payments on homes so that way you can build up some good equity. Sometimes if you make a purchase in the right market or you've been making extra payments on top of your monthly payment, you could get this done within 1 to 2 years. So how much equity that you're going to have to trade up is going to depend on how much you've been paying towards the loan over that period of time and how much that house has appreciated in value. So in 2 to 3 years, you build up $100,000. That's stretching it a little bit, but it's not impossible. And if you know what you're doing, you could use that $100,000 in equity to go then buy a newer, better home that's closer to the value of what you're trying to get to. Like I said, it all depends on your strategy. You could get away with doing this just one time to get into the house that you really want. Average, it'll take 2 to 3 times to get into, $500,000, $600,000 home. Now, if this is something that you're currently doing or that you're working on, it's important to look into 1031s. I don't have time to go over it right now because it's pretty extensive, but just Google it, or if you have any questions, you can message me. So that is our plan. We're going from renting, saving up some money, to buying a cheap home, saving up some money, building some equity, renting and repeating, and we're using the equity for each house to move into that next higher house, the same way you would as if you were buying a used car and trading up for a new car. And you could get into that $500,000 house that seems so far away. Don't forget, this takes time. So if you're trying to rush it, you're going to get frustrated, you're going to give up, and you're just going to not want to deal with it. So if you're going to go with this plan, just remember it's going to take some time, it's going to take some years. Just make sure you're making a plan and you're sticking to that plan, and you should be there in no time. If you need any kind of help with building out a budget to manage your money for a plan like this, or if you need help with creating your own personalized plan, I offer both of those services for free. So just reach out to me if you need some help. Thanks for watching.